All right, so thinking about buying or selling a McHenry this year, huh? Big decisions, are we, right?
Big
And
ones.
you want to know if September 2024 is a good time to make a move or maybe just kind of like see what happens, you know?
Right.
We got the inside scoop for you. We're diving deep into McHenry real estate today with the latest report from Michael Linton. And this guy knows his stuff. He's been a broker at McHenry for like forever,
38 years.
38 years. So he's seen it, all the ups, the downs,
Yeah.
you name it. When it comes to McHenry real estate, he's the man. And sometimes it's not just about the numbers, right? It's about knowing the people, the community, the feel of a place.
Absolutely. That's what I was just thinking. McHenry, it's got a different vibe than some of those closer in Chicago suburbs.
Totally. And just to be clear, we're talking specifically about the city of McHenry itself,
Right.
not the whole county.
Right. So put those lakefront mansion dreams on hold for a sec. We're talking more like charming suburban streets, the Fox River, that kind of thing.
Okay. So maybe no mega mansions, but hey, that brings us to a key point, affordability. Am I right?
Right on the money. Because let's be real, the closer you get to Chicago, the scarier those prices get.
Tell me about it.
But McHenry's, well, the median sold price there is sitting at a cool $300,000.
See, that's not chump change, but compared to what you're looking at in those closer in suburbs,
It's a different world.
it's practically a steal. Okay, so McHenry's looking pretty good price-wise. But what about this whole seller's market thing I keep hearing about?
Yeah, that's the catch.
What's the deal with that?
Well, the data is showing only 1.8 months of inventory right now in McHenry.
1.8 months. Okay, so I don't speak real estate.
Huh.
What does that actually mean for like a normal person?
Basically, it means if you're thinking about buying, get ready to move fast. Because 1.8 months of inventory that's screaming seller's market, houses are flying off the shelves.
So those rumors about houses only being on the market for like a minute are true?
Well, not quite a minute, but the average is 22 days.
22 days. That's barely enough time to decide on a paint color.
It's definitely a competitive market. Sellers have the upper hand here, which means buyers need to be prepared to make a move when they see something they like.
No time for dilly-dallying, I guess.
Not if you want to snag your dream home.
But you know what's funny, though? There's actually some good news for buyers hiding in these numbers.
Oh, yeah.
This 1.8 months of inventory we're talking about, that's actually way up from last year. Look at 53.85% increase.
It is, and that's huge. It could mean that we're going to see the market start to cool off a bit.
So it's not all doom and gloom for buyers after all.
Not at all. Things are still moving fast, but this could be a sign that the market's starting to shift toward a more balanced place.
Okay, so maybe some hope on the horizon.
Right.
But for buyers who are battling it out in this market right now, what does competitive really look like? I mean, we're hearing about these crazy low days on market, but what about the actual offers?
Well, that's where things get really interesting. You see that number there, the list to sold price ratio?
Yeah, 99.2%. That just sounds scary to me.
It basically means that houses in McHenry are selling for almost exactly their asking price, sometimes even more.
So much for trying to get a deal.
In this market, sellers have all the leverage.
Wow, okay. So buyers, you got to bring your A game. But let's shift gears for a second, talk about the man behind all these numbers. Our McHenry expert, Michael Linton.
Oh, yeah, Michael's a legend.
38 years in the McHenry real estate game.
Yeah.
That's not just knowing the market, that's knowing the people, the streets, everything.
It's like he's part of the fabric of the town.
Exactly. And you know what I love about these deep dives? It's not just about the numbers. It's about understanding the context, the human element.
You got it. And in real estate, that human element is huge.
It's not just about square footage and interest rates. It's about finding the right fit, the place where you can actually see yourself putting down roots.
100%. And that's what Michael gets.
So, okay, let's dream for a minute. You're tired of the city grind, tired of those tiny apartments and bidding wars that break the bank. What does McHenry offer that might make it the perfect fit?
Well, imagine this. You've got a charming craftsman bungalow on a tree-lined street. You're walking distance from a cute little downtown. You've got a big backyard for the kids, maybe even room for that pool you've always talked about.
Okay, stop.
Ah.
You're making me want to move.
And the best part is you're not sacrificing your retirement fund to make it happen.
It's that small town vibe, but without giving up all the good stuff.
Exactly.
Good schools, shopping, healthcare. You're not totally off the grid.
And you're surrounded by that sense of community, the local festivals, the farmers markets, the friendly face greeting you at the coffee shop.
It's like stepping back in time, but in a good way.
You said it. It's a slower pace of life, a sense of belonging that's getting harder and harder to find these days.
Okay, I'm sold. Where do I sign?
But you're right. Every market's got its quirks. What about McHenry? What are the trade-offs? Well, nothing's perfect.
True.
One thing that comes to mind is the commute. You're definitely looking at a bit of a drive if you're working in downtown Chicago.
Yeah, that's fair to point out.
It's definitely something to factor in.
But, hey, maybe that's the price you pay for a little slice of paradise.
Right.
That's one way to look at it.
And let's be real. With more and more companies going remote or hybrid these days, maybe that long commute isn't such a big deal anymore.
It's all about what matters most to you, right?
Exactly. And you know what I love about these deep dives? We don't just throw a bunch of numbers at you and call it a day. It's about connecting the dots, helping you figure out what those trade-offs really mean for your life.
Giving you the tools to make the best decision for you.
Yes. And speaking of making smart decisions, I think it's worth saying again how important it is to have a local expert in your corner. Oh, absolutely. Especially in a market like McHenry.
Someone like our guy, Michael Linton.
Exactly 38 years of experience. He's seen it all.
He's not just going to give you the market stats. He'll tell you the best place to grab a cup of coffee, where to find the hidden gems. That kind of stuff is priceless.
It's like having a secret weapon.
Okay, so to wrap things up.
Yeah.
If you're feeling McHenry, if you're ready for that slower pace of life, that sense of community, what's the one thing you should do right now?
Call Michael Linton.
Seriously, just pick up the phone. Even if you're just starting to think about it, a quick chat could make all the difference.
He can answer your questions, calm your fears, help you figure out if McHenry is the right place for you.
And hey, you never know, 38 years from now, maybe you'll be the McHenry expert, sharing your wisdom with the next generation. But until then, we're here to help you navigate the wild world of real estate. Thanks for joining us for this McHenry deep dive. We hope you learned a thing or two, found some inspiration, and maybe even started dreaming of a life a little closer to nature. Happy house hunting, everyone.